Do it once. Yeah.
Tuchel and Kane, is that right? It has, yeah. Doubt it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay.
When they do the puzzle.
Well, we can keep going, yes, do that. You can chuck stuff at us, fine. Got it. We're ready when you are, anyway. Yeah, that's what we're on.
Yeah, it's a piece of that.
Okay, cool.
Okay, every three, just grab the knee.
Good.
Yes, they are. All 25 members of the England squad are out on the grass, and it's a perfect conditions. We had a huge rainstorm there 5 minutes before they came out. It's slipping up the surface. They love it out there, and it's stopped raining now. They're joined by two of the under-20s players as well, in Laura McCabe and Zach Abbott, who you may see in the pictures that we're about to show you. But from Thomas Tuchel's perspective, you get the impression that he feels this is where the real business starts. Of course, he's got 3 back-to-back England camps now in successive months: September, October and November. And then he won't see the players again until March. So bear in mind this is a World Cup year for Thomas Tuchel. This is vitally important. And there he is, look, with John McDermott, the FA Technical Director, alongside him, taking a bit of a distant view of the players right now as they begin their warm-up today. You'll be aware, of course, that this isn't his strongest squad. He's missing 3 key players who you would expect to be in his World Cup squad. Maybe, probably, even in his starting 11 for the first World Cup game, whether that's against, and assuming England qualify for it, of course. Because there's no Jude Bellingham, no Bukayo Saka, and no Cole Palmer because of injury. But the players that he's got out there have got a really big opportunity to try and impress him. It's the first England training session we've seen of the new season. They had a light session yesterday at the time when we joined up yesterday. So this will be their first full training session of the new season, and it's good to see all of them out there present and correct. Yeah, Mark Gay, it's the first time we've seen him since that failed move from Crystal Palace to Liverpool, isn't it? And look, he is one of the most professional footballers you can meet out there. He's one of the nicest people that you can come across in football, Mark Gay as well. We're just scanning to try and find him for you at the moment. They're all scattered over different sides of the pitch. Is that in the top left-hand corner, I think? I mentioned that to Dan on camera. We'll zoom in and try and find him, but from Mark Gay's point of view, I think that's further left on the board, Dan. But yeah, it's been a very difficult few days for him, hasn't it? Because he had his heart set on a move to Liverpool, and it all moved fairly late. And in the end, it fell through. There he is. Look, in the end, it fell through. So these are first pictures we've seen of Mark Gay since that collapse in his move. He was very happy about it, huge smile on his face. And that's always the case with Mark Gay, isn't it, when he's out there on a football pitch. And as I say, his was a very different approach to Alexander Isak at Newcastle and Johan Wissa at Brentford, who I think it's fair to say agitated for moves away, and they got their moves. Mark Gay is not that sort of character. I can't imagine he would ever agitate for a move, but he did make it very, very clear that he wanted to go to Liverpool, and he didn't get that move. Largely because Crystal Palace couldn't get a replacement in on deadline day. We know that Igor Julio, the Brighton centre-back, was having a medical at Crystal Palace, but there were delays and doubts about whether the Gay deal would happen, whether Palace would let him go. It was pretty clear that Oliver Glasner had made it clear to Steve Parish, the chairman, they didn't want him to go. And because of those delays, Igor decided instead that he'd move to West Ham. And made the move there. So from Mark Gay's perspective, that meant he was lying in a body scanner under his medical an hour and a half or so before the deadline passed, when he was told to return to Crystal Palace and his move to Liverpool result. It's been made very clear to me that has damaged relationships between the player and the manager, Oliver Glasner. As I say, Gay is not the sort of player to agitate or down tools or anything like that. And so I can't imagine there causing any problems, but he's far from happy with his 3 moves to Anfield. It was called off in his eyes by the manager right at the very final stage. It's probably a blessed relief for Mark Gay to be out here training with England right now, consequences to big World Cup qualifiers for England. Get himself a bit of time away from Crystal Palace, because I think he wants the dust to settle before everybody moves on. From his perspective, the elite clubs in world football over the next year or so, but at the moment, he's very, very disappointed having missed out on that move to Liverpool, but he's doing what he always does. He's out there training with a smile on his face and ready to go for England.